my loves, it's Jay, the Juju Bay, and welcome or welcome back to Jay's Divine Readings. I am honestly, I'm very excited to do this one. I just finished doing a prayer, and I'm just tingling with excitement to do this one because I've been wanting to do a reading like this for a little bit of a while now, like maybe for like a couple of months, and I didn't know how to do it because I was thinking maybe I should put it on my blog, but then how would I do that? And then I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's just do the audio podcast thing. So this is what I'm calling a pick a vibe. I'm pretty sure somebody might have already said and done that before. I don't know. The internet is vast and wide. But basically what I want to do is pick, like, go with the vibes that the options I'm giving you are giving you. So yeah, so basically I randomized my Apple Music playlist, and I got 3 songs. Well, the first song I was already listening to, but the other 2 songs were randomized. And so the first song is Alessia, Cara, Slow Motion. The second song is LL Cool J's featuring Amerie's Paradise. And the third song is Willow's No Control. Now, these songs will each relate to a pal in this reading. This reading was originally going to be a oracle reading solely, but I decided to throw some tarot cards in there. So it's still going to be heavily oracle reading, and they may be all short readings, which would be good for you guys who just want something quick, and especially since last month's reading was very long. I think it was over 2.5 hours, longer than I thought it was going to be, honestly. So basically for this, all I want you to do is just do what you normally do, or well, normally what you should be doing, which is first take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for 3 to 4 seconds, and then do a slow exhale through your mouth, about 6 to 7 seconds. Talk to your ancestors, your guides, great spirit, your deities, whatever leads you, your Ori, your higher self, whatever leads and guides you to the correct pal that will have a reading for you. Now you can read for all of the pals, 1 or 2 of the pals, it doesn't matter. Just please go with whatever your instinct, your intuition is leading you to go. So again, for pal 1, and also if you want to, you can pause this reading and go listen to all the songs that are going to be there, so you can also pick a vibe from there as well, and then come back to this reading. So for pal 1, again, we have Alessia Cara, Slow Motion. For pal 2, we have LL Cool J featuring Amerie's Paradise. And for pal 3, we have Willow's No Control. So take a moment, and when you're ready, let's get into it. All right, pal number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose Alessia Cara, Slow Motion. And the lines that we're using from this reading is, I see everything in slow motion and all the heavens suddenly open. I'm going to bet it all on you. So let's see what that message has for you, how that message relates to you guys. So I had already pulled everything, including the affirmation message. The only thing I have not seen is what the tarot cards say. So I'm going to start with the tarot cards first, and then move into the rest of the oracle readings and see how that works. So for first, we have Justice upright. And for 2, we have the Tower card. So I'm going to do a quick prayer first, and you can pray along with me however you want to, and then we'll get into it. All right. So, great spirit, my beloved and benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm. My beloved guides, great mother, divine mother, my Kahlil, and the great grandfather, I pray that you speak through me and speak to the people who are watching this reading, who've been led and guides this reading. Let these words be words of encouragement and guidance, and whatever it needs for them to be. This I pray. Amen. And Ashe, amen. So, Justice and the Tower card. I see everything in slow motion. I'm going to bet it all on you. I wonder what that means. I think because the song itself is a love song, and it's the love song that basically talks about how you know how in a movie or something where you have that moment where you see this person, and in the films it suddenly goes to slow motion where everything stops and it all just centers and you're like, something about them. Yes, them. I think this is a message from the ancestors, or saying that that there is something going on for you guys, where there is something that's being centered. And when we're talking about the Justice and the Tower cards, are very interesting being put back to next to each other here, because it feels like they would kind of like not go together, because especially with the tower being upright, a lot of people fear tower moments. I personally don't. I am a big fan of change, and when I get a reading and I see a tower moment, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because usually I'm in a situation, I'm like, when is this situation going to end? And I see a tower moment, I'm like, oh, thank God. And I think for you guys, with these cards that come to your reading, I think there might be a feeling of relief as well when we're talking about the Tower card here, especially in coordination with the Justice card. Justice really is about standing up for what's right, standing up for what's true. Things sort of coming, not always coming in your favor, but righting themselves in a way that it needs to be. So that could be, it could be if you got some come up is coming your way, you're gonna get that, and you need to just sit and get that, right? But I don't really feel that this is a message like that. I feel like this is a message of things actually balancing in your favor. Even this tower moment feels like it could be that moment of, oh, thank God, finally. Like something is finally being shifted. Something is finally being changed for the better. Something is finally working out in my favor. I'm gonna bet it all on you. That was the main line that I pulled out from that song. I'm gonna bet it all on you. Bet on yourself. Bet on your hopes. Bet on your dreams. Bet on the people in your life, your support group, the your family, your friends, those you're close to, those you your makeshift family, your family that you created, the friends that you chose. Bet on them. Bet on going out and stepping out on faith on them, and knowing that they are there for you, to support you, to help you, to guide you, to heal you if so needs to be. This is a very light reading, a very light energy, and it's something that I really think that is needed for those of you in Pal One, especially at this time and moment. I don't know what you're going through in your life personally. I mean, I know globally there's a lot of things going on, but personally I don't know what's happening in your life. So I don't know if you've been in a place where things have been especially hard, especially arduous. It's been trying. You might have felt like you've been fighting an uphill battle. If you looked into the monthly readings that I just did recently, I don't remember, because I did it by signs: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So I don't remember which signs it was. It might have been fixed. They're sort of feeling like they are fighting an uphill battle, like they're sort of pushing that boulder uphill. And if you know the story of the boulder uphill, you push it up a certain ways and it keeps falling back, and you keep pushing it back up. I feel like some of you might have been in that place where it feels like you're working against something that's already working against you, and you're exhausted and you're tired, or you might have been in a situation that feels like it's literally out of your hands. There's nothing you can do. I think that was a message that was also for the mutable signs. I know for a fact it was for the mutable signs, where circumstances in life have got you in a place where you can't really move like you want to. You can't really do the things you want to, because circumstances are circumstancing, you know what I mean? That they're sucking pretty fucking hard for you, where it feels like, okay, I got hopes, I got dreams, I got goals, but finances are an issue. Transportation is an issue. I keep needing to put my dreams on the back burner because something else needs my attention first and foremost, and it's kind of been constantly like that. So I really do think you should check out that reading, and I'll try to put it in a link. Oh, if you're watching this on YouTube, just check my posts. It should be there, the most recent post on Spotify. I'll remember to put it in a link for you guys. But yeah, so it's really that sort of energy where, like, whatever the place that you're currently in, is really something that you are desperate to get out of. You are desperate for this tower moment. And the answers are really saying that this is a moment for you guys where you're coming to that place. And I love that the tower card is following the justice card, because it in another reading it would probably be like reverse, right, where the tower card comes first and then justice. But like, it's really saying like things are coming up for you. It's finally your time, and the time that's coming up will be this tower moment, this moment that shakes up everything. And I like that it's the following card, because a lot of times we want those shakeups, and after shakeup, we want those quick bombs of healing, and let us knowing that shakeup had a purpose. And so we kind of want things to follow visually in that sequence. But I think this is a better sequence for you guys, because it's really saying that it's kind of saying like the exact same things, but the way it's going to present itself is going to be a little bit different, because things are turning in your favor. Other things are going to get shooking up. And so it might not be a period where things are going to necessarily get easier. So I don't want to like give you that vibe like, oh, because things are getting shaken up, it's going to be fun. No, because tower moments are tower moments. So when things get shooken up, sometimes we may get discombobulated. We may feel like, oh, is this what I want? Like, don't let what's coming stop you from thinking, or stopping you from understanding that this is very integral, very important, that this is a blessing that you're receiving. This is a blessed moment for you guys. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that very, very intently. Some prayers you have been praying, some manifestations you have been working, some rituals, whatever you do, however you do it, whatever work that you've been putting in is coming up roses, so to speak. You know that song, Everything is Coming Up Roses? Roses My Turn. It's kind of like that. Everything is coming up for you. Everything is turning in your favor now. And it's a really amazing feeling. I really do feel like that was for the fixed signs. So, because I'm feeling like, I think I remember it being seeing Taurus. Taurus is a fixed sign. So yeah, things are really moving in your favor now. Let's look at the oracle cards and let's see what they say. So I'm going to go from the bottom up. So for the very first cards I pulled for you guys, and these cards are going to be requiring me to look at the book, to read from the book, and then I'm going to pull the book, and then I'm going to tell you what the cards are, and I'll pull the book, and then I'll be back. So for the first one we have is the cards Waters and Clover. That's for the Grandma Baby's Apothecary deck, which I love. And then the next card we have is from the African Goddess Rising deck, and that is the Asase Ya, Joy, and the Long Bubby Susie, Shame. I feel like those cards had came up recently in another reading, maybe last month or a month before. I don't know, but if you know, let me know. And finally, the last card we have is from the Moonology Oracle deck, and it's called The Last Quarter Moon in Capricorn, Leave the Past Behind. Love that. I'm loving that for you guys. So let's start with Grandma Baby's Apothecary deck, and let's see what the book says for those. Okay, for Waters, The book says beginnings. Love that. This is an auspicious time, come on, to make a fresh start, come on, in some area of your life. Establishing a new daily ritual or a creative or entrepreneurial pursuit bodes well for you now. You are awash in divine flow. Love it. Casting off stagnancy and debris. Granted the opportunity to begin again. Don't let this beautiful energy pass you by. Wash and replenish your altar and or your head. Neglecting spiritual hygiene delays and can even block the blessings and opportunities attempting to enter your life. For Clover, we have luck. Oh my goodness, power one. Ancestors did not build health, wealth, or safety by chance in a system that classified them as property. They built relationships with spirits who could open doors, secure resources, and halt enemies of progress. These spirits were respected guests in their homes. They learned their favorite flowers, foods, and their names. Rituals for them were done regularly, authentically, and with consistency. Your success, your survival in the face of ongoing oppression, come on, clock it, is not happenstance. It's work. Come on. Oh, I love when spirit acts up like this, you know. In today's world, luck is evidence either of proximity to spirit through practice or proximity to colonial power as privilege or both. Okay, I really love that for you guys, especially when we're talking about what we said in the message that that the justice cards and the justice and the tower card are working, that is working because some works that you did, some manifestations you did, some prayers you said, whatever it was that you had set up is coming to fruition. The work that you've put in is the this period that you're in now is the consequences of the work you've done. So it's not just it's like divine favor, I think, can be a thing, or is a thing. I do think it exists, but I also think that sometimes people get caught up in that, where they just think everything's just divine favor, and it's like a lot of times it's generational. Like a generation before you has set some intentions that are still working through the generations, and you just happen to be a part of the generation that's catching that overflow of blessings. But for a lot of people, it's the active work we're put in, right? And I think that's what really, when we're talking about with Clover, when the guidebook said that, what did it say? Let me make sure I get this right. In today's world, luck is evidence of proximity through practice or to colonial power as privilege. And I think that's really important, that some people do get a privilege, whether it is again from colonial power based on their ancestral lineage, or from other type of privileges, such as the work that some of their ancestors have done in previous generations that they're still catching the overflow spiritually from. But for a lot of us, it's just old-fashioned hard work, old-fashioned spiritual work, old-fashioned doing the work. And you guys in Power One have been doing the work. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't play with it. You guys have been doing the work. And because you've been doing the work, everything is you're finally being able to reap what you've sown now. It won't be easy because, like I said, that period of shakeup, it's necessary, because I think this is something I personally learned, is that a lot of times and I think I've said this before, a lot of times we ask our ancestors, like, remove anything that's not for me, or blah blah blah. Then they start doing it, and it doesn't look like the way we want it to. We be like, wait, whoa, not like that, not like that, not like that. And our spiritual team is like, do you want this removed or don't you? You don't get to dictate how and what's being removed if your prayer is anything that's not for me. Because sometimes you realize what's not for you. It could be that relationship that you're in, your family, your friends, that job that you have. You don't realize how much you are attached to something until it gets yanked from you, until something happens that makes you have to second guess that place in If you can hear me, I'm popping my knuckles. So if you hear pop pops, that's what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. That's the life of a arthritic. But if you so if you've done that work, if you've asked for these things, some things are going to be shipped and moved and removed, but they'll be replaced with something else. When we're talking about those flowing waters, those beginnings, that luck, those bliss, like luck here is, it's not just for you guys, Power One. It's not just favor. It's the work you've done. And because of that, you're entering a period of new beginnings with the water card. And when we think of water, I always think of rushing water, flowing water, constantly moving, constantly curving and creating the paths around it, right? Cleansing, fulfilling, nourishing. And I feel like that is the period that you are in, Power One. Oh, look, all of the heavens suddenly open. I love that line for you guys. It feels like the heavens are opening, the skies are clearing. If rain is pouring down, it's nourishing rain, it's fresh rain. It's not here, it's not rain assigned with like thunderstorms or tornadoes or any or hurricanes or anything like that. It's plentiful, plenishing rain that refills the earth. It's the rain that you love to feel on a spring day when you're like, oh, perfect, that needed. That cooling rain when it's so hot outside and you just need something to cool you down, and it feels like nature itself had heard you and she's like, I got you, boo. Here's some sprinklings. But that's what it's like. It's like is literally what it's going to be like for you, Power One. That's literally the energy that you're walking into. That sprinkling of joy. And we have the joy card for you in the African Goddess Rising deck, which I'm about to read right now. But you have this new era of joy coming your way, Power One, and I absolutely love that for you. Absolutely love that for you. And I hope you love that for yourself. And I hope you realize you deserve that. That this is not, that you can trust it. I feel like that needs to be said too. Not only that you deserve it, but you can trust it. Because things have been, I feel like when things have been going good for you, Power One, in the past, there was always something else to come right behind it. So you had to like temper expectations. You always be like, oh, this is good, but let me just go ahead and let the bad come too. And I think this is the point, Al. I think this is the point, hit my finger. This is the point now where I think you can be like, the good is coming and you don't have to wait. The good's going to keep coming, right? Even if things get removed, shaking up, destroyed, allow it, accept it, say thank you for it, say thank you, Spirit, thank you, ancestors, thank you, guides, thank you, whatever deity you believe in and pray to, thank you, work, thank you, past me, for the work you've done, because I know that this thing is being removed because something else is coming, and it's gonna be better. And I'm going to bet it all on whatever that is. I'm going to bet it all on you, on that good thing that's coming. I'm betting it all on me, that I deserve that good thing. All right, so for the African Goddess Rising, we have Asaya. She's the goddess of joy. I'm sorry. I'm reading from the guidebook. The guidance is, your happiness matters. Your joy is sacred. Your laughter waters the earth. I love that. I love that for you, Power One. Her embodiment reads, you deserve to be happy. It is safe for you to feel good. I love that. I'm going to read that again for you. It is safe for you to feel good. Allow yourself to feel joy with no limits. This is self-love. Your happiness doesn't need to look like anyone else's. If you can't imagine it, you won't be able to live it. Giggle therapy break. Close your eyes and see yourself joy-filled. Now laugh with your mouth and your eyes wide open. Try to release feel-good endorphins. I really think that it's an exercise you should try, Power One. Just that, close your eyes and just, I did this last night, literally in my bed. Nothing was going on. It was just me late at night being joyous. Actually, what was I thinking about? I just thought about myself, and I just thought, about certain things, like the fact that I am a giddy person, sometimes silly, sometimes goofy. And I enjoy those aspects of myself. And it made me kind of laugh. Not in the, oh my God, you're ridiculous, but in the, I adore me type of way. And I think that is something you should really do, Pal One, is take a moment. You can do it now or after the reading and just laugh joyously. Think about all the wondrous things that you are and embrace it. You know, embrace it with a laugh, with a joy, embrace it with the fullness of life that you are, that you already are, and the fullness of life that's coming to you as well. And I really want, and I mean that intentionally, the fullness of life, because I want you to get out of the mindset that you are living half lives and that you are sort of like half completed. You're already a full person. And so everything that's being added to you is just adding to the fullness. It's not adding to anything that you lack or anything that you are missing. It's adding to that fullness of you, because you are a wondrously created being, Pal One. And you should embrace yourself, flaws and all, right? We can change like personality flaws or things like that. We can work on our characters, become a better person. We can work on those things, but you got to work for those things from love, right? Because if you work for those things of always attacking yourself, you never quite fully stop. You're always finding new things to nitpick and destroy, and you never take a moment to stop and think about what good parts of you exist as well. And I'm not saying this to like blow smoke up your ass or to live in a world where you're the best and everyone around you. Like not in the arrogant, narcissistic type way, but in a way where you can embrace the totality of yourself. I'm a big fan, and this is something my ancestors have told me personally, is to embrace all of you, which means that acknowledging that my flaws as well, acknowledging that yes, I do this thing that's not good, and I do this thing that's not good as either. And sometimes I have to do those things that are behave in certain ways that are not. Sometimes I have to be a bitch. Because some people deserve the bitchy side of me, but I can also realize that sometimes I'm a bitch to people who don't deserve that bitchy side of me. And I need to recognize when I'm in that behavior and apologize, make amends, and act accordingly, right? Or I'm a kind person, right? But sometimes I give my kindness to people who don't deserve it, people who use and abuse that kindness. And I have to learn where that kindness stops, where that kindness for others stops, and when I have to start being kind to myself. Do you see what I'm saying? Understanding and embracing those complexities and those often contradictions of yourself is a way of which you can embrace the full joy of yourself. So embrace all of that and do it unapologetically too, Pal One. Don't sit around and apologize when you've done wrong, of course. Please understand. But don't sit around trying to attack and destroy yourself, right? That serves nothing and no one but your enemies. I mean, actual enemies, people that need you subjugated type of enemies. I ain't talking about the person at your job who don't like you. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that dude. I'm talking about people who are actually creating systems that require you to be subjugated to their violence. When I need you to look at yourself and feel joy for yourself, is to embrace everything that you deserve, which is really important when we're talking about this era that you're walking into, Pal One. It's incredibly important that you embrace and realize that everything that's coming your way is what you deserve, and it is not completing you. You're already a complete and whole person, that these things are just adding to the fullness of you. So take that moment and laugh, to bring in what did the book say? To release feel good endorphins. Right. And that it really does. Like, it may sound silly to some people, but it really does work. It really does work. Sometimes just allowing yourself to just be free, to be silly, and to just enjoy yourself, to enjoy life, makes life enjoyable. It's a causal loop. The goddess declaration for Yasaya is, I like me when I'm happy. Oh, I love that. I'm going to read that again for you, pal one. I like me when I'm happy. Now we're moving on to Long Bubby Susie. And hers is the shadow of shame. Long Bubby Susie's guidance is, you are beautiful and loved. Every part of you and your journey is beautiful. Even the ugliest, what did I just say? Even the ugliest moments, you have a heart, soul, and breath that makes you beautiful. Her embodiment reads, you are secretly scared that you are not enough. Power one. Shame is lying to you. It is. You are not broken. You are not unlovable, ugly, or unworthy. Shame keeps you small and hiding. Accept yourself now. You are a bright light. Allow yourself to see who you really are and are doing the very best you can. You are lovable and you are complete. Her goddess declaration is, I am protected. I love that. I didn't even know I honestly didn't know what shame was going to mean in this reading. But I do love that it's basically, her reading is literally like the shadow of shame that kind of like that kind of covers over us. And it's really good for this reading, telling you to move out of that especially when we have here, leave the past behind, which is from the Moonology oracle, which is the next one. Leave that past behind. Walk out of that shame. Walk out of that place where you feel like you're still that person who you used to be. Maybe there's people in your lives, pal one, that are telling you, "Oh, you're no different than who you used to be. Oh, you think you're better than me? Oh, you think you're better than me?" I literally had people tell me that. People I know and love. "Oh, you think you're better than me?" And it's like, and I'm gonna tell you what I should have told that person because it was so wild. I was like, "What? I don't think I'm better than you, but you think I'm better than you. And you're projecting these feelings onto me all because I'm trying to do better for myself. And because I'm trying to do better for myself, that means I don't accept certain things. I don't accept certain behaviors. Like, no, you cannot be around me and say homophobic shit. Like, no, that's not the energy we're in. I'm not gonna tell you not to be homophobic, although I will. Stop being fucking homophobic. But you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm being like, oh no, I stopped drinking, and you're like, oh, you're better than me? Oh, you're better than me? Did I say that? I said I stopped drinking. If I say I don't want to engage with people that behave or act a certain way, I don't want to be around people who are queerphobic. I don't want to be around people who are misogynist, because those things are dangerous and deadly, and that goes against my morals and my belief systems. And if you're saying I think you're better than me, I'm like, sweetie, that's for a therapist to figure out. You're projecting. Now, if you are fighting so hard to hold on to those negative morals and those aspects and things like that, that's not for me to do, and that's not for you to do, pal one. It's not for you to help people work through their shit that they need to be working through. You can offer support, but you can't do the work for them, right? And so a lot of people, instead of doing the work and they see you doing the work, they are very quick to be like, I'm going to bring this motherfucker down. I need this motherfucker to know that I remember who they are. And it was like, fine, you can remember that too, because I remember that too. And you know what? I embrace those parts of myself. I used to think like this. I used to do those things. And I'm not saying those thoughts or those behaviors were good. No, because that's why I'm working to change them. But they were a part of me. I learned those things. I grew up in those things. I were taught those things. There's a behavior that there's traumas that I worked with, that I learned to, this is how I cope with those traumas at the time. But at the person I am now, I'm not doing that. The person I am now deserves love, deserves grace. I'm leaving my past behind, not in a way that I think I'm better than past me, but in a way that I am not subjected to all of the things old past me have done. So you can come up to me Pal one, you can tell a person, be like, hey, y'all can come up to me and say whatever you want to. But Pal one, you could be like, okay. But the person I am now, has been putting in the work. And that's why the person I am now is receiving these blessings. The clover card is not just sheer dumb luck. It's work. Is work working in my favor. The justice card is work working in my favor. And because of that, I'm in that tower moment where things are being destroyed in my favor. I'm in that waters moment where things are being cleansed, renewed, refilled. I'm bringing in this joy now. I'm releasing shame. I'm loving myself in all ways, shape, and form. And I am leaving that past behind. You cannot hold me to old fears that I've released. You cannot hold me. You cannot make me beholden to a version of me that makes you feel comfortable. Does that make sense, Pal One? I hope that does. I hope that does. So we're now at the end of your reading. Like I said, it's short. Not that short because I'm looking at 32 minutes. Short for me. Short for me. Give me grace. Give me grace, Pal One, just like you should give yourself grace. And so I pulled these, just like I pulled everything. I pulled these affirmation cards, and I didn't read what they said. So I hope they go with the reading. And if not, just use them as mantras. Oh, look. I give myself the care and attention I need to thrive. Oh, I love that for you, Pal One. And the last card is, I deserve love, compassion, and empathy. I really do love when spirit be showing out like this. I really do. I really, really, truly do. And I especially love that those things are attached with the shame card, which is the shadow of shame. I want you to remember that shadow of shame that hangs over us, that kind of makes us forget that we are lovable and we are loved and we are loving. But this is all I have for you, Pal One. I do really hope that this is a message that encourages you and brings you comfort and guidance. And I want to thank Great Spirit, my ancestors, and your ancestors for this message. And I want to thank you for showing up for yourself by clicking on this reading. I hope you take this reading to heart. I hope that you have if this is the first reading you ever heard or the very last reading you'll ever hear from me, I hope that you are blessed. I know you will be from these messages. And I hope that this next era that you're moving in, I hope that you embrace it. I hope that you embrace all of it, because this is such a beautiful and wonderful era for you, Pal One. And I am absolutely adoring this energy that you're in. Yeah, I love you. Be safe. Also, I forgot to be saying this in my readings now. If you like this reading, of course, leave a like, and leave a comment. But if you want if you want other readings from me, you can purchase them from me on my website at jaysdivinereading.com/shop. And you can see all the sources I'm offering there. You don't have to. You absolutely don't have to. It's just a suggestion. But again, thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Hi, Pal 2. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose LL Cool J's featuring Amerie Paradise. So I love this, guys, for you. So the quote, the lyrics I'm using is, I paid the price for paradise, so I'm living this. I never limit myself. The L's fearless. I love that for you guys. So so what I did, basically, this is mainly an oracle reading. So it should be short, but if you know me, you know me. Pal One's was 35 minutes long, so I'm going to try to get it under 25. So bear with me. I'm a yapper. It is what it is. So, I got, 3, tarot cards here for you. And, then I'm going to, read from the oracle decks, and then I'm going to be pulling from the books to help, expand on what the cards are saying for that, and then I'm going to finish off with the affirmation. But before I do that, let me start with a quick prayer. So, Great Spirit, my beloved benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, great mother, divine mother, my Kahlil, and the great grandfather, I pray that you give me knowledge, insight, and wisdom to read these cards accurately, and for these words to be words of encouragement and fulfillment for all those who have chosen this path. This I pray, amen, and ashe, ashe, and amen, amen. I had to take a moment to put some air on me. Whenever I do readings, it gets very hot. I mean, it doesn't help that it's supposedly still spring, but it's basically the Louisiana summer. So the cards we have now is the magician card, the Four of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And so how does that mix add up to the lyrics Paradise? Well, the Four of Swords card here is the one that's really standing out to me, and I really kind of love this. I'm using the Fat Folks Tarot, and I'll have all of my, like I normally do, have all of the decks I'm using in the description box, so if you want to purchase them or look at them for yourself, you can that way. But I love this Four of Swords is because in this deck, she's standing, well, she's actually kneeling in the grass with her one sword in her hand and three swords all around her. And there's a fire in the background. So this person is a fighter. This person is a fucking fighter. They, you know what I mean? You ever seen those people who like, who will fight at a moment's notice? You're like, God, like, calm down. Everybody ain't a fight. That's not the energy this card is having, though. This is a card that these people aren't, for this card, I'm feeling like this person isn't like quick to fight, but when something is needed to fight, they got the motherfucking hands. They got hands to that ass. Like, they're not out looking for a battle. But if the battle is brought to them, woe unto their enemies. And that really does go with the, I paid the price for paradise. You guys in POW 2 have sacrificed a lot. And not all of it is like intentional sacrifices. Like, I can't say for all of you. So like for some of you, you might have had hard lives. Like, you might have y'all been through some shit. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Y'all been through some shit. Y'all seen some shit. Y'all experienced some shit. Y'all still fucking here. You guys are a miracle. That's the thought that's coming to my head. Nothing short of a miracle. I feel like people might have, for some of you guys have, what's the word I'm looking for? Put you down and out, have counted you out. And you've proven them wrong time and time again. Cause look, this Four of Swords here, their swords on the, like, they're literally around her, three swords around her, which shows that her enemies have attacked her and failed. And she's got her sword, and I love, what I really love about this image is, even though that she's kneeling on the ground, is something very powerful, because she could be standing up, you know, like, hell yeah, that bitch, I did that. But it's a humility that the things that she's doing is defensive work, but she's so strong. You know, and some people really hate being called strong, especially if you spent so much of your life being strong. Do you know what I mean? You spent so much of your life fighting battles, and sometimes you just like, I just want to be soft for a moment, weak, quote unquote, if you will. I want to rest, and I really do feel like maybe this is her way of saying, I fought all these battles, but I'm fighting this last battle. I've done the work. I paid the price, as the lyric goes, for the paradise I'm about to enter into. And I really think it's funny because this is the middle card here in this deck. So before that we have the Magician card. And the magician is really good at taking all the elements that are around them and creating something out of nothing. And I think for you, pal, too, you're definitely those people who are like honest to God. Y'all are top tier at making something out of nothing. And I'm not just talking about like in a creative sense. I mean, it could be, but it's like you took your lives and you made something with it. You took all the things, all the doubt, all of the naysayers, the underdog energy, the shit people threw at you, and you like, I'm gonna make something beautiful. And I feel like you didn't do it. You might have. Some of you might have, or you might have at the beginning did it to prove people wrong. But I feel like now you don't have anything to prove. You know what I mean? Like you've done all that. You've done all that. Which is why I feel like, because the Knight of Pentacles here, he's he's on a motorcycle. And he's carrying his fruits, and he's doing all of that. And I feel like for you guys, it's just like, you've carried everything you need to carry. You've done all the work you need to done. And I think even on the motorcycle, motorcycles are like fast, vehicles. Like they usually, even though the Knight of Pentacles I think is like the card that doesn't really move that fast. So I feel like for you guys, it's really kind of like that reverse energy. Like you've done all you need to do. You've you made this life. You created something. You fought all the battles that were headed your way, and now you're sort of moving into this place. I never limit myself. Yes, I feel like that's really important for the Knight of Pentacles. You're moving definitely in this place where you're limitless, where you don't, how do I say this? It's not complicated. I'm just trying to make sure my thoughts make sense. You're not afraid of what comes next. And I feel like life experience has sort of made you expectations. Have sort of made you expect that you will have to be in some sort of stasis where you're constantly having to take whatever life throws at you and make something out of it, taking shit and making it shine, and constantly have to fight. But this four of swords, she's done with that. She's while her sword is not fully laid down, because she recognized that there may become a point where she have to fight again. But in this moment, she's at the end of the battlefield. Everything's on fire. Her enemies are not even being seen. The only thing they're seeing is the weapons that they had at her, so that trauma that she had to face. But she's there holding on to her last sword. Her head is, while is slightly bowed, but never to the point where it looks like she's bowed. This is someone who's in control of their destiny, I would say. I feel like, pal, too, you are at an auspicious time to really create the life that you've longed for. And I mean, like, not just taking what's been given to you and making the best out of bad situations, but actively going out and seeking the things you want. There's no more strings on you. I feel like that was also in a reading I did. A lot of stuff is coming back because I'm doing this reading back to back with the well, not back to back, a couple of days after I did my monthly tarot reading on my blog. So I feel like some of those things are connected. And I think I want to say the mutable signs were the ones who were like, there's no strings on you. Maybe it was the cardinal signs. I'm not quite sure. But you're definitely in this era where there are no more strings on you, where there's no more things that are binding you. You're in paradise, and not in a. I feel like sometimes paradise feels like, or can be viewed as, a illusion. Does that make sense? Because we sort of know that paradise is temporary, right? You go there, you vacation there, and then you have to run into the real world. But I feel like for you guys, not that I think you're going to be living in a state of denial, but I feel like you guys can create that paradise type of life for you guys, where you can create, where you are limitless, you're fearless, you've been through shit that people couldn't imagine. Like, if you were to tell your story, if you were to tell your tale, I don't even think you guys sometimes understand just the exact level of the shit that you've had to fight through, carry through. Some of you guys have been fucking through it. Some of you have been through it. If your life was a movie, it would be one of those movies where people are like, God damn. You know what I mean? But there's like, it just kept coming. It never stopped. You'll see those action movies where it's just like explosion, 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 another explosion, club, another club. You know what I mean? And like for you, I feel like that's kind of like what your lives, some of you guys' lives have been like. Something always happening. It doesn't always have to be big things. It could be, sometimes it is very small things that add up over time, little tiny, like 1,000 tiny cuts. So it's for, like, take what resonates. So some of you, it could be like a constant state of happenings. For some of you, it could be big major things that, like, once you get to a certain point, some major thing happened, and then you move through, and then another major thing happened, like a constant, like I say, major arcana moments, those big huge things happening over and over and over and over again. And a lot of times, you guys, you just kept going because that's all you knew how to do. It's not that you didn't feel the pain, or you didn't feel the burdens, or you didn't feel the emotions. You most definitely did. But I feel like a lot of you reason in your mind that, well, this is just life. This is just how it is. And the best you can do is just keep going. And that's a very, like, that keep going mentality is a very healthy one to have. But I want to talk about that other mentality of, this is just how life is. Life had been unfair to you, into the sense that it made you think that life is only hardships that you get through, battles that you get through, not even battles that you start, but battles that you have to defend yourself through. That's what you have to do. Just constantly be at a space where you're defending and fighting yourself, and you take a moment to rest, and then you got to get back out there again. You're just constantly making something out of nothing, turning scraps into delicious meals, making a home out of whatever sticks you can scrape up, making clothes out of scraps, building a life that's never full, and like, it doesn't feel like it's full, but it's yours. And I really say that's admirable, because it's really like, this is a tiny little life, but it's mine. And I love that. I love that you have that mentality, but also I hope you guys understand that you deserve more. That you deserve, that you don't have to just take the scraps. You are allowed to sit at the table and eat the full meal. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're the type of people who do sit at the table, eat the full meals. You're not throwing scraps because you're like, well, this is how I had to do it, so you had to do it too. And if you did have that mentality, I feel like it's life has probably pushed you out of it. Or because you've seen it happen so much, you're like, I can't have that mentality. I just can't. I feel like you're the type of person that if you're at the table, everyone's getting served. You're going to make sure that everyone's getting a piece of the food, and not necessarily to your own starvation. You're like, oh, I'm getting me some too. Don't worry, I'm going to eat. But so are you. I feel like you're the type of person that creates a paradise for yourself and for others, right? Because you, how do I say this? You've seen what it's like to be on the other side, and you don't wish that for anybody. You know, there's that kindness that exists within you that is so surprising when people talk to you and people know about what you've been through, because it honestly shouldn't exist. People are, you should be crueler. And it's not that you don't have your faults and flaws. You do. We all do. But it's like you should be crueler. You should be harsher. You should look like everything you've been through, but you're not. Because you've, like I said, you've been on that other side, and you know where the other side is, and you have no desire to push other people in the other side. And more importantly, you have no desire to create your paradise on top of the bodies and bones of others, right? Because people try to build that paradise on top of you while you were still breathing, and you know what that feels like. And so you're not moving in that energy of I'm gonna get mine and fuck everyone else. You're moving in this energy where you're like, I'm going to get mine, and if I can, help someone else get theirs, even if it's just one person, paying it forward and paying it back and doing all that type of stuff. You are a very mature energy pal too, which is why you're in this paradise situation, because it's very it's the mindset that brought you to this situation. It's the it's that mindset that allowed you to see a better and brighter future, right? So I feel like that's the energy that you guys are already moving into. You just kind of need to figure out how to do it, I think. Figure out how, like, what, because I feel like you're good at making something out of nothing by getting whatever's been given to you. I've been saying that repeat, but you're really good at getting what's ever been given to you and making something. But you're a novice at creating something from air. Like, you can pick out, you're visually, you're very good at picking out what's good, what's healthy, what's sufficient, at what's ever left over. But when you're seeing the full thing, like, you can tell, let's say you know what parts of the pig is good after it's been slaughtered, ate and tossed into the trash. But if someone were to hug you the whole pig, you're like, oh, I actually don't know what to do with this. Which is exciting, because now you're in this place where you get to learn. Where you be like, I don't know what to do with this, but now I have the opportunity to cut this as that feels good for me. So I may not be cutting the meat in a way that someone else will be like, oh yeah, this is definitely the chops, or I don't know. Look, I don't know. But you know what I mean? You're like, you're not cutting in a way of where how a butcher would cut. You're cutting in a way that feels right to you. So you might cut out extra fat more than meat. You might do all this, but you're like, I know what this organ tastes like and what this organ tastes like, and I'm just going to cut around that and then use whatever else is left and to make something that's pleasable to me. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Like you're learning how to use the totality of what you have now, of this place that you're in now, with the wisdom of what you've had before, and you're doing the very best you can. And I hope that you're proud of yourself, and that you, this may be a period where you're stumbling more and making mistakes more, but that is the joy of it, honestly, because you're making new discoveries, new insights about yourself, that is not from a place of having to constantly be at war with life, but being in, what's the word? Concert with them, being in connection with them, being in harmony with life. So let me pull out the, let me pick the oracle cards. I'm gonna just read them what they are first, and then I'm gonna pull up in the books to further expound upon them. So for the Grandma Baby's Apothecary, we got the Crossroad card and the Lily card. For the African Goddess Rising card, we got Aba Nimba Harvest and Mamiwata Naked. And then for what's this called? What deck are you? The Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet Oracle card set. If you never read The Prophet, you should really read it. I think you would enjoy it in general. I enjoy The Prophet. I own like 2 copies of it. But first I'm gonna start. Oh, they read the light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light, and accept the seasons of your heart. So let me pull out the Grandma Baby's guidebook. And for Crossroads, it reads choices. You've reached a pivotal moment in your journey where a lesson has run its course. And this means you have to make a choice. This isn't a test. This is a gauge to see if you are ready to grow into your purpose. Can you accept your destiny at this time? Sometimes the answer is no. Growth isn't linear. Life isn't neat, and you aren't perfect. So take the time that you need. Just know that you can't avoid it forever. You will have to decide eventually. I think that really kind of goes in what I was saying about this new place that you're in. You're not quite sure what exactly to do, but you do know that you have to do something. And this is really important when we're talking about this new era that you're in, Palsu. You have choices, more choices that you probably ever had in your life, because like I said before, you just had reactions to the life that things handed you. So you probably didn't have lots of opportunities like you do now. You probably have more opportunities now that you've ever had in your life, and good for you. But because of that, you have to figure out how to move, how to do these things that you've never done before. Like I said, when we're talking about cutting up the meat, if you've only ever had scraps, you don't know what else is there. Like, you're aware that there's more meat, but you've never tasted it before. So you're not sure what it'll taste like, how to cut this, how to cook this, how to do this. But because you have more options now, you have more choices, you do get to decide how you move. You just have to be willing to understand that whatever those consequences are, you have to be willing to accept it, which means that you must be willing to make mistakes. You have to be willing to cut something wrong. You have to be willing to cook something wrong. You may have to be willing to make a bad financial decision. You have to be willing to stumble. But the thing is, the good news is all of this life that's ahead of you now. Like, you're so full of opportunity now that it might seem overwhelming, but please don't get overwhelmed. It's because you've remember who you are. Remember that you are wise at heart, and that just trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and just do the best you can. You're at these crossroads in your life. There are options and choices in front of you, and some of them may be good, some of them may be bad, some of them may be scary, some of them may be joyous. You don't know. But that's the whole point of Paradise, the song for you, is that is you're not limiting yourself, and you're not fearless. That's the most important thing too. I want to point out, the L's fearless. Like, you've done all this stuff, and so I really do feel like you're moving in this. While like some of the situations may be scary, you're not scared. You're not easily shaken because you've been through some shit. Like, you've seen some shit. You've experienced some shit, probably more than other people have ever have or ever will in their entire life. So you've been through it, pal, too. And because you've been through it, can't nobody tell you nothing, right? Within reason, like, please listen to some wisdom of your elders. But still, like, you are more prepared to face the world than you probably think you are, probably know you are, more than you probably ever been, and definitely more prepared than a lot of other people. I am very in awe of you, Palsu. Like, really, like, I'm not being facetious, and I'm not being like, I'm being honestly true. I am in awe of you, Palsu. Like, if I were to know you in real life, you would fascinate and inspire me. And I feel like you're an inspiring person. You may not see yourself in that lens because you're just doing you, and you're not out here trying to like show the world anything. You're just doing you. And that's what makes you really, really amazing, pal, too. You have so much choices, so many options in front of you, and you're just walking head first into it. Don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you're making a choice. You're taking you're taking steps. You're taking stances, and it's amazing. And I hope you're amazed by yourself as well. Lily reads Expand. This card asks you to evaluate what you've lost or losing to be quote unquote safe, what you prune to be palatable, to be liked. What if the parts of yourself you were told to sand down, cut off, and silence are your best parts? What if the validation you be promised isn't worth the compromises you've been making? If you've been aiming for a seat at the table, build your own fucking table. I kind of like that. One where you can be heard, seen, and affirmed. One whose cups and plates are spilling over with the generational abundance. Yes. Ode. With the generational abundance ode. Don't lose too much of yourself out here trying to fit into a narrow space. This card is also about centering pleasure in your human experience unapologetically. Why are we encouraged to center generational traumas before generational gifts? Why do they want to see our pain before our pleasure? Prioritizing pleasure is revolution. After generations of sacrifice and the policing of black bodies, black culture, and black joy, go on and live your best life. What act of pleasure will you indulge in today? I love that for you. Did we talk about that? Yeah, because we talked about being at the table, and you being the person who invites others. You know, you're filling others' bellies at the table. Build your own table, right? Like, you're like, when we're talking about the magician energy, it's really good for you because, like I said, you may not know exactly what you're doing in this new period of your life that you're walking in, but you are walking in it fearlessly, and you're building the best you can. You're building what you need, and because of that, you're also unknowingly building things that other folks need, right? You're making opportunities for people who are so stuck underneath a system or systems, that they think, okay, only thing I can do is just to do my best within the system. And you're like, I don't know about y'all, but fuck the system. I'm gonna do me. I seen what this system has given us, and I don't want it. I want to build something substantial. I want to build something that is effective, like the Lily card says, generational, that doesn't just offer us scraps, that doesn't just offer us the leftover, that doesn't just toss something our way once they're done with it and being like, here, don't ever say I ain't gave you nothing. You know what I mean? You are the ones who see that, and you're like, I'm going to, you saw that, you made your way through that, you built something, and now you're resting because you're not going to fight these battles anymore. Like, it's not that the battles won't keep coming up, but you fought that last final battle. And the place that you're in, you're not willing to fight those wars again. You're like, I've been there. I've done that. I have the battle scars to prove it. I'm not doing this again. And you can't make me. Even more so. I think that's really important. You're really telling all of those in power who wants to decide and guide and force your hand to live a certain type of life. You're really telling them, you cannot make me. You can try, but you've got me and this life fucked all the way up. Because what I'm not going to do is sacrifice any more of myself, or bend and contort myself, or try to make myself survive in a system that is very fucking upset that I'm not dead. In fact, I'm going to build something for me, a legacy. I just looked up and saw one of my cards I have on my wall, legacy. You're going to look up and you're going to build a legacy for yourself, for the people that come around you, and encourage those around you as well to build that legacy. I absolutely, when I say that I am in awe of you, pal, too, please believe that with every single grain in my body. Please believe that I am absolutely, undoubtedly in awe of you. Okay, so we're moving on to the Goddess Rising Oracle. And we have Albonimba, which is harvest, the goddess of harvest. Her guidance is, give thanks. You are being blessed. It is harvest time. Pray attention. That's cute. Pray attention. A season of great harvest is a season of great epiphanies. You are prospering. I love that for you, pal, too. The embodiment reads, harvest is when you reap the blessings that you have sown. The harvest is not just the fulfillment of your dreams, but the creation of them. Oh, your thoughts, your imagination, the blessing of you being here another day on this earth. That is all harvest. What seeds of generosity, love, support, and goodwill can you sow in your community to create a bountiful harvest for all? Listen, pal, too. Wherever you are the next community leaders. Like, dead ass. Whatever community you find yourself in, where it's the actual physical community, like your neighborhood, whether it's a new job, whether it's online spaces, wherever you are is a blessed place, pal, too. You are so needed in this day and age and in this environment. I hope that doesn't, I was about to say I hope it don't scare you, but it probably doesn't scare you. Probably like, true. True. But you are definitely so needed right now. There are things that I would dare to say probably won't even get off the ground if you're not there. And not to blow smoke up your ass. I don't like to do that. I'm just calling it as I see it. Not because you are singularly by yourself, solely, Jesus, cannot speak, so great and so important that, shit don't work if you ain't there. What I mean is that you bring a certain aspect to places where some people work in theory, you are the action, right? You take people out of the theory and you put them into the physical realm. So they're like, in theory, we need to do A, B, C, and D. And you're like, that's really great. But let me tell you what is actually needed here, right? You're talking about there, and this is what's actually needed. How do I know? I've been there. And this is what the community actually needs. This is what the community, and you can help guide those people who are, their thoughts are important, their hearts and their minds are in the right places, but they just need someone to bring it down from the mental sphere down to the solid ground, and be like literally make and create something for their community, for their families, for their peoples, for generations to come. This is not a one and done thing. This is something, like, I feel like some of you guys are going to be creating systems, projects, things like that will outlive you. or that will inspire other people. Like, people are going to be looking at the work you're doing and be like, if they made that work in their location, can we do it here? I think we can do it here. You guys are really, you're really on this harvest part is so bountiful. It's bountiful in more ways than one. So, like I said, you guys don't build your paradise on the bones and bodies of others, right? So because you don't work from that type of mentality, a lot of the work that you do is automatically blessed. You guys work you guys work from a place where things are automatically just like, it feels like, I feel like going forward, watching and prove me right on this one. Going forward, you guys will be, whatever you put your hands into with the intention of making something great will come to fruition. And don't expect it big from the beginning. I mean, like, you will be planting seeds that you get to see sprout and that you know will live for a generation or two after you. You're going to be planting seeds at people that are going to, some of you may be writing certain things. You may have a online presence where you're just sharing certain tidbits of wisdom. I feel like I said that in last month's reading too. So you may be a pal. I don't remember last month's reading, but you may be a pal where your calling has something to do with that as well. So this may be something that is dealing with your calling as well, of you just doing things, speaking, writing, singing, dancing, anything that requires any input of you consciously and subconsciously is going to be a harvestable thing. Never limit yourself. Like the lyrics say, I never limit myself. You guys are truly limitless. You guys are one of those few people that can be like, I want to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and can actually do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're not just talking. You're not just wishful thinking. You don't just have a life full of random things. And it's because you guys don't just think it, you put it into action. So you're not just saying, I want to do this because it sounds fun. You're like, I want to do this because I see there's a need for this. I want to try to do this. Right. And you will go and do the steps and you make the choices like the crossword says, and you make your mistakes and you learn from your mistakes and you, oh my gosh, pal, too. The God's declaration is, I have the courage to be vulnerable. Wait, wrong one. The God's declaration is, we are always prospering. I was reading for the wrong book. We are always prospering. Keep that vulnerable one in the back pocket because that's coming up next. We are always prospering, pal 2. Pal 2, I wish I knew you in real life because you, like I said, you are inspiring. You're inspiring me right now to get my shit together. You are inspiring, pal 2. Oh my gosh. The next, for Mommy Watts, I already read her Goddess Declaration, but she's the goddess of emotional nakedness. Her guidance is hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice being transparent. Start with the people closest to you. Say, I haven't been showing the whole me, but I'm starting today. Have the courage to feel and express your feelings without people pleasing. Speak your truth. Share your story. Cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others. Become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. And again, her God's declaration is, I have the courage to be vulnerable. I think it's very interesting for you guys because, like I said, I feel like you guys, I do feel like it could be, how do I say this? It feels like because you guys are constantly in that state that people don't get, like, they see all the shit you've been through, like I said earlier, and like they're really kind of surprised, and you kind of get that kind of strong energy and stuff like that. But you do have wounds, you do have trauma, and I hope that you feel safe and comfortable to voice those things, safe and comfortable to be vulnerable enough to voice those things. You don't have to tell everyone. Everyone is not safe to do that with, but there are people in your life who are safe to do that with. And especially when you're moving into this new era of your life, don't be afraid to allow yourself some vulnerability, some softness, some tenderness, that quote unquote weakness. Allow yourself, wait, was this you guys? Or maybe it was the first pal, but allow yourself that quote unquote weakness. Allow yourself that energy, that moment to be, to just to be soft, to have some grace, to let yourself be taken care of. Yeah, you don't have to do, you've been doing everything, it feels like you've been doing everything by yourself for so long. You don't really have to do that. You don't really have to do that by yourself anymore. Next we have I think I'm going to read, okay, so I think I'm going to read the Accept the Seasons from Your Heart out of the book. Let me see what it says. So this book really just uses the quotes from the prophet in here, which I'm going to read both of these quotes to give you a fuller understanding. So the first one is accept the seasons of your heart, and that one correlates with pain. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone or fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the season that passed over your fields. Is this from the book? Hold on. Yeah, it's from the book. I literally have not read this book in a minute. I should probably read it again. But yeah, accept the seasons of your heart. Pain. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding, even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so much you know pain. And you could keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your fields. Yeah, I think if you, if anyone else, know the most about how pain is a part of life. It's a crucial part of life. It is a part of life. It's a part that we wish we wouldn't have, we wouldn't go through. But I heard someone said, how will we know what light is if we don't know dark? How will we know what joy is if we don't know sadness? How do we know how to embrace those feelings of completeness, of joy, if we and happiness, if we don't know pain? There are a lot of people who don't really embrace those quote unquote ugly emotions. I did an article on that, and I remember it was about anger, and I'll link it in I'll link it in the description box. But ugly emotions are necessary. Ugly emotions are crucial. Ugly emotions are only ugly because we don't like to experience them. We don't like to deal with them, but they are a part of the human experience. The human experience is the totality of all those emotions. And pain is something that can either swallow us whole, or it can push us forward. And I think for you guys, I don't know if you guys have ever really acknowledged the pain that you've had to get to this point, but it really would help you guys going forward. And especially when we're talking about the Mommy Wasa Naked, the Naked Vulnerability card, is to acknowledge that pain, because that pain does kind of lead into the next card, which is Freedom, which is the light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. You shall be free indeed when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief, but rather when those things girdle your life and let you rise above them naked and unbound. You shall, naked, come on. And how shall you rise beyond your days and nights unless you break the chains which you at the dawn of your understanding have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though it links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. And what is it but fragments of your own self that you would discard that you may become free? I really love that because I think that was that the Rudy card? Or was that in Pal 1? Talking about what things that we have um, contorted and bend to ourselves. How did we break? How did we what elements did we what parts of ourselves did we deny? Did we shift? Did we change? Did we bend and contort and break in order to get to a place where we can feel like I as great as you are, Pal 2, I really hope that you remember this is why this naked card is coming up and why this oracle deck, the prophet oracle deck was really chosen for you guys is because as great as you guys are, I really hope that you guys know that going forward in the choices you make, that you learn to embrace those that quote unquote ugly side of yourself, that quote unquote weak side of yourself, the side of yourself that you might not sit with often, right? Because you've been the type of person who doesn't really have the choice or the chances or the opportunity to really dive into those emotions because it's like you don't have the time. But this era that you're in, you do, right? Because this new era that you're moving into, you you're moving into a place where it requires you to embrace all the totalities of yourself. It requires you to understand the traumas that you have developed, and while not necessarily always giving into them, but just acknowledge that they're there. Be sad if you're sad, hurt when you're hurt, ache when you're aching, right? And it doesn't make you less capable. In fact, it adds to that, right? Because think about all the things, like the book says, all the things that we've learned to attach to what freedom means, right? And how sometimes what we see as freedom is, I've been through this thing and I don't ever go to this thing, so I'm going to do everything else. And for the sake of freedom, you attach yourself to something else. You attach yourself to a belief system that's not really beneficial to you, or you attach yourself to a behavior that's not really beneficial to you. And even if those belief systems or behaviors may like have good outcomes, such as you're like, because I know what pain feels like in this particular thing, I'm going to make sure that no one else feels this type of pain. So I'm going to be doing all my, like, don't be a hero. Don't be anyone's savior. Be wise. Use your intuition. And being vulnerable allows you the space to do that naturally. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense with that, pal? Too? I hope I am. So we come to the end of our reading. I'm trying to, because it's already at 49 minutes and I'm very much over the time. I was trying to not be over the time. But our final message here for you, your affirmation is, I am happy. I take control of my happiness. When my happiness depends on others' actions, I'm at the mercy of things I cannot control. Instead, I choose to cultivate consistent happiness by focusing on the things I love about myself. I am happy. I love that for you, pal, too, especially when we're talking about the song Paradise. You've cultivated your happiness, and you've definitely moved from letting your happiness be dictated by what other people are giving you, and how you can just take that and create some sense or semblance of happiness. So you're actually creating your own happiness, and you're at the crossroads. So the choices you're making it towards what makes you happy, but also embrace all of your emotions, embrace all of the totality of yourself. So make sure that the choices you're making just for the sake of happiness, you're not sacrificing something else. You don't want to sacrifice your morals just to be happy. You don't want to sacrifice all the hard work that you've done just for a moment of happiness. You want to create that actual genuine paradise. Remember, you don't build your paradise on the bones and bodies of others. So make sure that the movement that you're making for happiness is one where your focus is, while your focus should be on you and what you make happy, it shouldn't be to the point where you are doing the things that others do to you. And I don't really feel like that is something that you have to worry about, Pal 2, but it's just, or a lot of you in Pal 2, it's just like, it's just something to be aware of. Because you guys, like I said, have really, you guys have really put in a lot of work to be in the places you are. And you guys have really just gotten to this place. A well-deserved, well-earned place. You guys are going to be okay. Just remember to take that mommy water and the seasons of your accept the seasons of your heart, those mommy waters, naked vulnerability, and embracing and understanding the pains that you've been into, and understanding what the cost of freedom may actually be, and how you can be genuinely free without having to sacrifice something to get there, without having to rechain yourself in the idea of freedom, well, something that looks free, but it's actually it's a whole new chain, right? You don't have to bend or break or contort yourself to fit into others' ideas of what a happy, full, and fulfilling life may look like. You are at this place where you get to decide, where you get to make choices about how you get to live this life. And that is a very exciting, terrifying time. But you are limitless, you are fearless, you are, like Yellow Cool just say, I'm living this. You are living this moment, and I love that for you, Pal 2. But this is all that we have for you, Pal 2. I want to thank Great Spirit, my ancestors, your beloved ancestors, for showing up in this reading. And I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for taking the time to read this reading. If this is the first time you heard this reading, or this is the last time you'll ever hear another reading from me, I want to thank you for being here. Also, if you do want to have, if you like this reading and you want to purchase a personal reading, you can go do so at my website, jaysdivinereadings.com/shop. And you can choose whatever reading you want from there, and I can do the reading for you. But yeah, this is all that I'm seeing for you, Pal 2. Again, thank you again. I'm wishing you the very, very best in this life and the next. And I know that whatever you do, the harvest that you're making is going to be big and blessed and wonderful and abounding. That's the word. And bountiful. And I just, it's a blessing for everyone who gets to know you. But yeah, that is all. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello, Pal 3. Welcome to your reading. You picked Willow's No Control. The verse that I'm using for this is, I try to learn from the past, my head's down, and when I search for the path, like I always do, I'm an equation, I don't know the math. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to read the two tarot cards that I've gotten, and then, since this is mainly an oracle reading, we're going to move into the oracle message, and then we're going to end with the affirmation message. But before we do all of that, we're going to do a nice quick prayer, so you can say a prayer if you're on, but I'm just going to say again a prayer to guide me through this reading. So, Great Spirit, my beloved benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, Great Mother, Divine Mother, my Queen, and Great Grandfather, I honor you, welcome in space, and I pray that you give me knowledge, the insight, and the wisdom to read these cards accurately and truthfully, so these words can be words of encouragement, and for whatever the message for all those who come across this may need. This I pray. Amen and ashe, ashe and amen. All right. So let's start with our tarot reading. So first we have the Three of Cups, and then we have the Seven of Swords reversed. So what does this mean in regards to the song No Control? I try to learn from the past, my head's down when I search for the path, like I always do. Always do. I'm an equation, I don't know the math. This song is very, I won't call it angry. I think the beat has to be like kind of, but there's a bit sadness in this song. You know what I mean? I had this song on my playlist on my Apple Music for a minute, and I had to actually listen to it until I put it on my music on shuffle. And yeah, so I think I love this song now. um, but I think when we think about, we have the Three of Cups and then we have the Seven of Swords back to back. The Seven of Swords is, the card on it is very interesting. The artwork on this deck, I'm using the Fat Folks Tarot, is very beautiful. But the person is holding all of these swords of different types, swords, machetes, and things. They're carrying them, and they're not even looking. Like their face is covered. Like they're literally looking away from what they, because it feels like they're more so being cautious. Like the Seven of Swords is usually a card like a thievery of people stealing things, or like a betrayal, or you know, or something sneaking up, like or let's say you grabbed all your enemies' weapons and now your enemies have nothing to fight you with because you've taken them all. For this message, the Seven of Swords in reverse, and it comes out the Three of Cups with a is a cup with a card, excuse me, of companionship, of a card of joy, a community card. I'll say. I feel like the past that you've learned from, I'll say, oh my gosh, I'm burning up. I am burning up. Let me pause. Pal 3, before I move any further, let me ask you a question. I want you to answer this honestly. And you don't have to like put it in the comments or anything. I just need you to take a moment. I need you to think about this. How frustrated are you right now? How overwhelmed are you right now? How angry are you right now? How much pain have you not processed yet? And I say that because usually when I do tarot readings, I'm already feeling, you know, the heat from spirit. And plus I'm in this room. I have to have my air off right now because otherwise you won't hear me. You just hear boom from the fan. And our overhead air conditioner is currently broken. So yeah. And so like it's hot outside. The work I'm doing is making it hot, but this is the hottest I felt for the whole reading. For any power 1, power 2, like power 1, it was the heat. Power 2 it got a little bit hotter, but this is a different type of heat. This feels honestly supernatural, and it could very much just be the temperature. It's currently 3:21 in the afternoons, so it could be the sun is higher in the sky, and so it's making it hotter. But it feels, how do I say this? I feel like my anxiety is revving up, like my hands are shaking. I feel like I want to cry. I feel like no one is understanding me. I'm talking, but no one is feeling me. I feel like I'm screaming into a void, but no one's hearing me. Why won't they hear me? I need help, and no one is helping me. There's so many people around me, and no one is seeing what I'm going through. No one is seeing and feeling what I am feeling right now, and I am drowning, and nobody, absolutely nobody, is willing to look over and rescue me. I am tired of having to save myself. When is someone going to rescue me? And Pal 3, I am so sorry. I am sorry. Not only that you feel that way, but that it's not just a feeling, that it's a feeling caused by actual pain. That the people in your lives that you rely on have been unreliable. And this could be like, you could be an adult, and this could be childhood trauma that's been rearing its head. This could be recent pain that you recently had to go through. This could be a fear of yours that you're feeling, and maybe you're not sure this is truly how you're feeling, but it's definitely, you're not sure if it's really true, but it's definitely how you feel. And you want so badly to scream it out, but you're not sure if you would be heard or if people just react to the scream. That's that no control that Willow is talking about. No control. You have no control over how people react, and we never do. First and foremost, we don't have control over people, how people react, but you also feel like you don't have control over yourself. And that's what's scarier. You no control of yourself, no control of people, no control of your life. Everything is just too much. Oh my. Baby, you need to cry. You need to cry it out. And some of you don't want to do that because if you cry, you may never stop. I get it. I get it. I've been there. I get it. But crying brings a relief, a release. If you can't cry it out, if crying is just too much for you to bear, if you have the money, book a rage room and yell it out. Break and destroy stuff in a healthy way. Write it out. Sing it out. Dance ugly and ferociously, excuse me. It doesn't have to look good. Just flail your body to get that energy out of you. Get that energy out. Because it's strangling you. It's like a python wrapped around you. It's got you at the throat at this point. Someone has been taking your joy. Every time you find a piece of it, they come up and they take it. And somebody might have been saying, why are you giving it away so easily? And it's not even that, because you're not trying to give it away. You want the people in your life to know you, to genuinely, truly know you. You want them to embrace you and accept you. So you try to do the thing that you think is wise. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to love again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And every single time, my love is being thrown back on my face. Until Joki Shang wrote in for Color Girls, my love is too sanctified to have thrown back on my face. That is one of my favorite quotes from that. Because your love is too divine, too holy to be thrown back on your face. So the people who are trying to throw it back on you, that is not a you thing. That is them. Because for someone to see a wounded bird and decided to break its other wing, it's not the bird's fault. It's the person who breaks them. Yes, you are stronger than you think, but it's not about being strong. It's about the math isn't mathing. You know what I mean? I'm an equation. I don't know the math. The math isn't mathing. You don't know how to, excuse me, you don't know how to get out of this cycle. For some of you guys, this cycle is taught. You've seen it from your parents or your guardians, from people in your life who have stayed in abusive relationships, and you know, so you've picked up those things that if my parent, my guardian, or this person I love and trust can't get out of this, why do I think I deserve to get out of it? Some of it is experience. You've tried to, you want so badly to be loved that you are, you're like a little puppy. Love me, love me, love me, love me. But the person you're saying it to hates puppies. And they like the game of no matter how much they kick you, you keep running back. Joy feels like a dream, a theory, something that's imagined but not true. And it makes you angry. And you hate being angry. But it makes you so fucking angry. And angry makes you feel out of control. And so you feel even more out of control. And everything in your life is just a big old bag of fuck you at this point. Pal 3. Breathe with me, okay? Let's just take a moment. Let's breathe. Let's take a deep inhale through our nose. And then a slow exhale through the mouth. That's all I'm asking of you, right? That's all I'm asking. I'm not going to ask you to do anything else. I'm going to see what the rest of this reading entails. But I'm not going to ask you to do anything else, Pal 3. I just need you to breathe with me so we can get through this. I'm already feeling... Yeah, that was definitely some supernatural heat, because I'm already feeling so much lighter. And it's only been 8 minutes since I last looked. It's 3:29 now. I need you to breathe with me through this reading. I'm going to come back to these tarot cards because I definitely have to see what these oracle cards are saying here for you. You actually have the least cards in the entire reading, so your reading may be short. But let's see. So we have Broom from the Grandma Baby's Apothecary book. We have Yasagi, Live Out Loud, from the African Goddess Rising Oracle. We have Second Mirror, The Prank of Angels, Obstacles, A Cosmic Test, Growth, from the Inner Oracle Mask, which is very important because I kind of knew this reading was going to be... I didn't think this reading was going to feel like this, but I kind of figured, like, when I was called to put the Inner Oracle Mask, that was usually one of the masks that one of the decks I pull when there's something that needs to be dealt with. You know what I mean? When it's usually if I'm like doing a shadow work reading, something that's like really heavy, emotional, I pull that out because it's one of my favorite decks to use to show what's beneath the surface, beneath the mask that we wear. But I'm going to read from the books first, and then we'll figure this out together, Pal 3. So bear with me. All right, Pal 3, I'm back. So Broom is release. Yes. A popular end of year ritual for inviting new energy into your home, particularly that of abundance, is to sweep out all of the old that can no longer serve you. And we do this with the broom. If you found yourself released from a situation or relationship, understand that this too was necessary for growth. Just like in the Inner Mask card, we had the word growth. Life is not some big event capped suddenly by death, but a series of deaths and rebirths, endings, and beginnings designed to shape us and move us forward. To accept this, the natural and inevitable part release and loss play will enrich your life. Oh. From the African Goddess Oracle Rising, Yagasi, the goddess of living out loud. Her guidance is express yourself. You have something to say. Share your voice and magic. Express your you-ness. Her embodiment reads, the way you express yourself won't make everyone happy. That's okay. You're not meant to. Living out loud and self-expression look different for everyone. For outgoing extroverts, self-expression may mean dancing on tables and screaming your points of view. Like I said earlier, dancing wildly, screaming at the top of your lungs at a rage room. Introverts may speak out in other ways and save the louder parts for their personalities and loved ones. Goddess Declaration, I am free to express myself fully. So I have to read both of those back to back for you, Pal 3, because I hope you're still breathing, Pal 3. Still breathe with me. You deserve joy just as much as anyone else does. You deserve love just as much as anyone else does. People that have not been kind to you, they have not been susceptible, that have not been responsible with the love that you've given, is not your fault. And you're the reason why you can't, like the lyrics say, is I'm an equation, I don't know the math. The reason why you can't figure out what's wrong with you is because the problem isn't solely you. And I'm saying solely because we do have to unpack our traumas. We do have to deal with those things. And we do have to ask ourselves, why am I still chasing these things that are unhealthy for me? Why do I'm still begging love from people who have shown me that they are incapable of loving even themselves? So how could they love me, right? When we unpack those traumas, we get to the cause of them. We get to understand what's informing them, what's creating them, and how to navigate our life going forward, where we're not bound to these behaviors, where we can live and create a life that we deserve. And you do. I need you to breathe, pal 3, breathe. I need you to understand that you do deserve the fullness and the wonderfulness of life. So here's what you're going to do. I need you to take a look around your space, your physical space. And if you can, if you're able to, it's time to do some spring cleaning. It's time to throw some stuff away. And I mean, in all senses of the word. Physically, if you are keeping cards, letters, gifts, some old loves and old friends that have did you wrong, throw those the fuck away. I've learned from my lesson as I've grown older to not throw away memories, but these things aren't memories. They are kind of like, you know how serial killers have trophies? Bear with me. You know how serial killers have trophies of all the horrible pains that they've done and inflicted on others? You are keeping trophies of the pains done by others to you. Throw them away. But before you throw them away, release your energy from them. So here's what I want you to do. If you have these things, get some twine or some string, or have someone to do a cord cutting ceremony for you. But get some twine and get some string, wrap it around your waist, and I need you to very simply say something along the lines of, I release everyone who has sought to do me harm. I call all of my energy back to me. I call out my love back to me. I want you to hold the free end of a string, like tie it around your waist with a long free end, right? And tie it taut while you're saying this, right? I need you to pull back so you can feel that pressure. And then after you say your prayer, I need you to cut it so you can feel that actual release. And I need you to throw away the string in the trash can. Throw it away at someone far away from you. If you have to drive somewhere to throw it away, it doesn't matter. Just throw it away. Toss it in the trash. You can also cut the string from around your waist and throw it away too. That's literally cutting someone free. There is more extensive rituals for cord cutting, which is why I suggest if you have, I think Coil Bloom and Conjure does a cord cutting ritual that they sell on their website. I have to check and see. I'm not sure, but if you have someone or know someone who does hoodoo or does any type of those practices that they can do those for you, you should do those for yourself. But cut them free. Call your energy back to yourself. Cleanse anything that you've gotten. Use a mixture of what is this called? It's called Florida water from Amerie and lemon. Do water and a couple of dashes of the Florida water. Mix it up. Literally spray down those things. Wipe them clean. Throw them in the fucking trash. Don't sell them. Don't give them away. Throw them in the trash. I don't care what it is. I don't care how expensive it is. throw them away. You don't even want the money from it. You don't want to give that headache to someone else. Like, if someone picks it up from the trash and uses it, that's fine, but you need to throw it away. I need you to cleanse your energy, sweep your house up from the back of the house to the front, throw that dust into the trash can. And this is, again, if you're physically able to do these things. If you're not, you can call someone to do it. Call in family and friends that you do know, that you do trust, to help you do these things. Tell them that you're cleaning out your life. I ask that you, if you're able to afford it in any way, counseling, therapy, support groups, those are all essential. And because these feelings and emotions aren't going to blink away. So to deal with it, take a breath, breathe with me. Breathe with me. It's getting hot again, so breathe with me. Pal 3, you got this. It seems like a lot, but I guarantee you it's not a lot. This is we're doing the math. You're an equation, we're doing the math. But yeah, if you can afford it, or if there are some groups or something, some type of counseling or anything like that, to work out these emotions, work out these feelings. I still have my shadow work care pack on my website. It's free to download, and it will always be free. That will have some resources in there for places that you could look for. It's not, I haven't updated it in a while. I'll be doing a newer version, but this version should still be sufficient. So it'll still have resources and the like for you to be able to look at and look through, that can help you. What else? Tend to yourself. Nurture yourself. Mind, body, spirit, soul. Tend to all of that. Feed yourself good foods. Read books that bring you happiness, that bring you joy. Meditate. Pray. Call on your spiritual team, whatever you have. If you're not a spiritual person, journal, write down mantras. Mantras are really good when they come from you. So write down some words of affirmation for yourself. Write down, this is something that really was important for me on my mental health journey. I will write down my core beliefs about myself. And then on the same page, on the other side, I will write down words to counter them. So my core belief was, I'm stupid. My counter would be, I'm brilliant. I'm actually smart. I'm worthless. I have worth. My worth is not determined by other people. Those type of things. So whatever those thoughts that you're saying, right, so you can see it side by side, and write it down. Write down what those thoughts are you're saying, those core beliefs that you have and held by yourself, and reshape them. Look back over them when you need to. Journaling is very good. It's very important. It really takes those things out of our mind and put it to a place that we can have. Again, if you do have people in your life that you can talk to, family members, friends, express your feelings to them. Take them with you to your rage room. Take them with you to a dance place where you can just dance ugly. Go to a karaoke bar and sing loud and out of tune. Find the little joys of life again. Find the joys of yourself again. Who are you, Pal 3? You say you don't know, or you say you're unsure, but there's a part of you that knows who you are. One of the best things I've learned about in my spiritual journey is that everything has been bringing me back to who I was as a child, in my purest form, before people told me to stop laughing so loud, stop doing this, you have to behave like this, you have to act like this, you have to move like this. It brought me to a place where things were so natural to me, it was second nature. Like, literally, like, I knew as a kid that standing with my feet in the ground felt right. And now as an adult, I understand why. As an adult and a spiritual person, I understand why young me felt that way. I understand that God existed in, not in a metaphysical or solely metaphysical or solely supernatural sense, but God existed in the earth, in the ground, in the air, in the rocks, and nature all around us. So young me knew that, even though young me didn't have the vocabulary for it. But old me knows it now and has the vocabulary for it, and now can actually actively do those things that young me did innately. The prank of angels, the second mirror. Obstacles, a cosmic test, growth. The period that you are in, Pal 3, is a hard one, but a necessary one. Because you're at this place now where you can begin to do the work to create the person that you are. And it's not just about like creating the life. I mean, the person who you are, finding who that person is and embracing that person in the fullness. What did the book say? Express yourself. You have something to say. Share your voice and magic. Express your you-ness. Live out loud. Live out loud. Release. That's what the broom category is. Release. Release those. I literally just heard, feel the rain on your skin. Release your inhibitions. That goes. Like, but release that. Release those doubts, those fears. No control. You truly do not have control over people. One of the best things I learned in my popping my knuckles, if you hear it, I'm sorry. One of the best things I learned in my counseling was to let go of expectations. Because when you have those heavy expectations from other people, how you expect that they react, sometimes that may hinder you. So sometimes I just had to learn to. I wrote stuff down. I'm a big writer. Uh, Obviously, if you see my blogs, so I would be like, this is what I need to say. So I write down my words, and I'm like, this is what may happen based on my experiences, and this is how I will react to that in that time. But also knowing that I don't know how I will react or how they'll react, but I know I'll survive it. So if they get angry or they get upset, I can learn to. I learned that even though I hate it, hate when they're angry, hate when they're upset, hate that they're fighting me, that's out of my control because I voiced my opinion. I learned to use a lot of I language, and I language is where when you're, it's a good deflection tool. It's a good tool of where you can say, when when I try to bring up this pain and I feel like you are not listening to me, or I feel like you are diminishing me when you say this word, this word, this word, it makes me feel, or I feel like, and I would like to have a conversation where we can talk in a better, where we can talk in a have a better communication about this so that I can feel supported, right? It helps to, because it helps change the language, because if we say you don't do this, or you always do this, or you because then a person starts to defend themselves. They start to defend, oh, I do this, well, you do this too. And I'm not saying that you switching the language won't make a person do that, because I've had those experiences where I've tried to talk to some family members and they will get offended. Some people are just going to get offended no matter what you say or how you say it or how you phrase it. But you owe it to yourself to express yourself. You owe it to yourself to say, I am hurting, and this pain that I'm feeling has been caused by this action that you performed. And I still want you in my life. And that is why I'm telling you this, so that we can move forward. And they may have honest to God grievances with you. Take a breath. Into the nose, out through the mouth. Every time I tell you to take a breath, it's because I can feel some extra energy on me. So some of you are maybe calm, some of you are not. This is, this is not an individual reading. So, if you're saying like I'm calm, okay, but other people may not be, right? So again, take a deep breath in through the nose, hold for a few seconds, and then slow exhale through the mouth. And let's get back to it. People have rightfully can have their own grievances with you because we're not perfect. So we might have done things in our own pain and our own discomfort that they may bring up. They may say so, but if you're really honestly, truly about forming a connection, you have to acknowledge that. And you have to be like, I didn't know I did that. I'm very sorry. This is something we can both work on together. I'll work on this, and will you agree to work on that so that our relationship can be shared, can be saved, and that we can have a healthy relationship. Now, if they say no, so be it. Wipe your hands and move on. It also depends on, like, there are a lot of factors that go into it as well. Some places you may be stuck into because you're married to them, you're in a relationship with them, you share a house with them. So there'll be a lot of things that you have to. This is the reason why I'm very big on, again, telling you to talk to a counselor or a therapist that can give you actual advice on how to navigate this. I'm just a tarot reader on YouTube. I cannot tell you how your individual relationship works or how to navigate it. These are just some ways of how to, very little ways of how to navigate that situation where you can move to this place where you're not feeling so. Because back to the tarot reading, the Three of Cups here is leading your reading, right? But behind that, there's a mask there. The Three of Cups is just like a mask because behind it is the Seven of Swords. But actually, the Seven of Swords is reversed. So the goal is to make that Three of Cups not be a mask, but to be an actuality where people aren't stealing parts of you, taking parts of you, taking your energy, exhausting your mental health, making life feel daunting and too much, where you can live out loud. That's your goal. This period of growth is not going to be easy, and I'm saying from experience, it's not going to be easy. You're going to run into some heartaches, some hardships. But the thing that's different going forward is that you have a goal now. You're not just trying to get people who are unlovable, who are incapable of showing you the love you deserve, to love you. You're not trying to turn a square into a circle, right? You're not trying to fit a square piece into a circle, right? Or a square piece into a triangle, rather. You're not trying to contort, and you're letting go of the control that you feel, or the lack of control, that you're letting go of all of this shit, so that you can really be and embrace and live in this Three of Cups energy where you have genuine community, genuine joy, genuine fulfillment, enrichment. So you can live out the Three of Cups in this deck. You have three friends sitting in a forest, literally drinking cups by the moonlight, laughing loudly. That's how you live out loud. That's the place you want to be so desperately, pal 3. And the beauty of the situation is, that's the place your ancestors are trying to get you to too. That's the place Spirit's trying to get you to too. You have more on your side than you believe you do, than you will ever know. Your ancestors do not play when they want that joy for you. So some of the joys that they have to sacrifice themselves for you to be here, they want you to have that so much. Breathe with me, pal 3. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. This time, I want you to inhale. And when you inhale, I want you to say, I deserve the fullness of life. And when you exhale, I want you to say, it is already mine. Inhale, I deserve the fullness of life. Exhale, it is already mine. Inhale, I deserve to live out loud. Exhale, and so I will. Inhale, I deserve to live out loud. Exhale, and so I will. Inhale, I am not afraid of being me. Exhale, I will not hide who I am. Inhale, I am not afraid of being me. Exhale, and I will not hide who I am. Create your own mantras. Do those breathing exercises. Create that life, that joy, that fulfillment you deserve. You are an equation. The lyric, I tried to learn from the past, my hands down when I search for the path, like I always do. You are not incapable of learning from your mistakes. Your mistakes come, they happen. The problem is that you have shame with it, and your mistakes come with a belittling that you don't need to do. You don't need to shame yourself. You don't need to punish yourself. That doesn't help anyone, and it's most definitely not helping you, baby. Do not punish yourself, baby. On God, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It doesn't do any good for you. And in fact, all it does is make those other people in your past who are feeding off of your negative thoughts of yourself, makes them feel stronger. There are people in people that you're not even friends with, relationship with, that you don't even know anymore, that are getting pleasure off of knowing that they left their mark on you. Send that shit back. Like, release that shit. Send that shit right the fuck back. Right the fuck back. That's no longer yours to carry. In fact, it was never yours to carry. Don't carry it. Do not carry it, pal 3. Lift your head up while you're doing this work. Stand forward. When I was a kid, I used to look at the floor when I walked. And I don't remember why I started to look up, but when I started to look up, I could understand that I could still see the path without looking at my feet. I didn't have to hold my head down. I can look forward. I can look people in the eye. I can stand tall, shoulders pushed back. I can declare my spot in this world. It's not always easy to do, but it's important to do. It's pertinent. It's crucial. And you can do that too. Yes, you are an equation because you are a complex, complicated, contradictory, wonderful ass being. And now you know the math. Now you know how to add, multiply, divide, carry the one. You know how to do all of that stuff to find out who you are and to embrace all of those aspects of yourself, which is leading me to our final part of our reading, with your affirmation card. And your affirmation card is, I feel privileged to live in my body. I love that for you. We're talking about living out loud. It really is a privilege to live as to be you, pal 3. You are a gift, a blessing. You deserve to be here in the fullness of your existence, in the fullness of your being. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. I usually end that when I end my readings. I usually always thank the person for showing up for themselves. But I always mean it when I say it, by the way. I always mean it. But I really do thank you. I really thank you for showing up for yourself for this reading, pal 3. I thank you for continuing on when other people would have given up. I am so excited for you, for this new period of growth, release, receiving blessings, of you embracing the fullness of you removing all of that old negative energy, sweeping it out of your life so you can bring in something new, something good. Anoint yourself when you take a shower. Let the water flow over your head and just say a prayer. while you're showering, say you're not only like removing the dirt and the dust and everything and the danger from your scalp, but you're also anointing yourself. You're blessing yourself. Let love flow over you like the water flowing down your skin. Let the joy and the fullness and the richness of life flow over you because you deserve. And I hope you believe that, Pal 3. I really do hope you believe that. But Pal 3, this is all that I'm seeing for your reading. I love you guys. I do. Spirit loves you. Your ancestors love you. And I want to thank Great Spirit, my ancestors, your ancestors for showing up in this reading. And again, I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for doing this thing to see this reading through. If this is the first time or the last time they were seeing each other, thank you for showing up. If you're interested in getting a personal reading, I offer those on my website at jaysdivinereading.com/shop. And you can go there and see what type of readings or other services I offer. And yeah, Pal 3, you'll be all right. You will. You will. I believe that. I hope you believe that you'll be all right. And I I hope if you do choose Pal 3, I want you to come back within a year and leave in the comments if like where you started off and where you are a year from now. Like from whenever you hear this message, where you start off, and then like when you're starting to do the work, where you are a year from now. I would love to. I would love to know about it, Pal 3. I am supporting you from a distance. This is your Black Hoodlum saying, "We got your back. We love you. Spirit got your back. Your ancestors got your back. I got your back. I love you guys. Take care, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay? Bye bye."